Okay, we're just starting now. What's the one word? Pressure, tedium, time consuming, customers. Mike, I think you said yes. Demographic. Anyone else? It's okay. You don't want to answer. It's okay. All right. So I also want to know how many of you are service providers and how many of you are product based, where it's a product you sell. Service. Sergey, we don't know what you are yet. Both. Service. Okay. Service. Okay, good. So I am going to talk a little bit about product, but majority, I mean, all of this can be adapted to both. Okay, so what we're going to talk about, what we're going to cover today is the first is the expert how to talk about your work so you stand out. The always on system, how to get noticed even when you're taking a break. The partner engineer, how to get friends and partners to send you clients. And the right way for you, finding the best ways to market your business. Okay, not everyone can do everything what everyone else is doing. Okay, there are people on here who are fine to be on Instagram, and there are people on here who are fine to be on LinkedIn, and there are people on here who are like, I don't want to do any of that. And there are people who have an email. They have their email list. Everyone's different and everyone works differently. So we're going to talk about all aspects. And then when we work together in 30 minutes, then we'll find out the right way for you guys. And we'll also build a plan. Okay? Um, the goal here is to find what works for you and also to create a system that works for you. All right, because Nadia and I, like we've this is her third workshop, and it's your third workshop, right? So we've sort of kind of talked about kind of your process a little bit. Now we're going to get a little bit more cemented in that process. I know, you're smiling at me. All right. By the way, you're all gonna laugh at me. Do you know who came up with this presentation? Claude. Claude came up with this presentation. Claude did this. I mean, I fixed it up, but just so you know, this is the future of AI. Just make my life easier. All right. Marketing mindsets. Let's stop stressing. Marketing is more than social media. It's about being seen where your perfect clients hang out. It's all about making real friends with them, making real friends with other people, and doing it all the time. There's one simple rule. Making friends is the key to everything in marketing, whether you're at a coffee shop or you're online. That's it. Making friends. I want you to look at it. That's how easy it is. You're all looking at me like I'm crazy, but really, that's how easy it is. Making friends. And if you look at marketing like making friends, it starts being easier to handle. Like, put up your hands. You can make that friends. Like, when I say to you, marketing is making friends, does that make it sound easier to all of you? Or do you not like making friends? Well, that's a whole other conversation, and I can't help you with that. Right. Okay, so that's how I want you to look at it. Marketing is just about making friends, right? Marketing equals friends. Building a relationship is the core of marketing. Let's go back to 1999 when I first got my first cell phone. I think Nicole and I both got our first cell phones around then. Okay, we'll be fine. We admit to it. Probably Nadia's also, right? Like, we had to make friends. We made appointments. We had to meet them at the right time because there was no way of getting in touch with them to tell them we were running late. My mother jokes that my father was 3 hours late for their first date. They've been married 53 years. I do not understand how she waited for that man for 3 hours because there's no phones. So you had to make relationships. So marketing is making friends. Like, building friendships is the core of marketing. Okay, focus on visibility. Being seen is crucial for attracting clients effectively. And I don't necessarily mean just showing your face. A lot of you be like, Mel, I don't want to sit in front of a camera. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I heard it all before. Okay. You don't have to be in front of a camera, but you have to be visible, whether that's going to networking events, whether that's an email list, whether that's posting on LinkedIn, if that's where your people are hanging out. You have to be visible. You don't actually have to show your face. Showing your face does help you, but you have to be visible. So whatever that means to you all, that's what it is. Consistency. Whatever you choose to do, whatever 2 to 3 marketing things that you decide to do, be consistent with it. So if it's networking, be consistent with networking. If it's being on LinkedIn, be consistent on LinkedIn. If it's Instagram and you've connected Instagram to Facebook, be consistent. Whatever it is, be consistent. If you send an email out once a week, send it out once a week. I'm actually going to be changing out my email. I'm very excited for 2026. Can you see how excited I am? Changing it up. I'm so excited. Also, I want you to enjoy it. I know you're all looking at me like, why would I enjoy marketing? None of us enjoy selling. Why would we enjoy marketing? It's kind of like the two things. Funny things, they all go together. But if you start to think that you're just talking to your friends, it makes it easier. Yes, Daphna, you love marketing for other people. Yes. So I want you to start the same way you love it for other people. I want you to start loving it for yourself. Okay. Even social media is about making friends. All right. Engagement. I'm going to go into this. We're going to go a little bit into social media and then we're going to go into other aspects. But actually, this is not. This is. We're going to come back to this slide because it's in the wrong place. All right, marketing pie. How many of you actually understand the marketing pie? Okay, good. Nadia, you good. Did I get it right? I think I did. All right, so you're all the middle. How many people actually, if you look around, I don't know if you can see everyone. How many people actually know each other on here personally? You can put in the chat, like if you know each other. Would you say how many of you know the more than one person on here? They've actually met in person. Let's do it that way. Okay, Mike a bit not personally. Sergey knows one person. Nadia knows 2 people. Daphne, you know me. Aviva knows 2 people. Nicole's known me since I was 15, so she's exempt from this. But do you know any other people on here? Right, met me on the street. That's a good one. I like that one. By the way, that was a very smart way. She met me in the street. I told her about the workshop. Ooh, just the day later. You're all going to get used because all of you, everything that I have in this presentation, I've done with a lot of you. So you're all going to see how everything that I've done, you can do because I've done it. But all of you know someone. So they're the inner circle. Okay? So the inner circle of the people you know. It's your past clients, it's your friends, it's your parents, it's the people who know you in a one-on-one intimate way. Not intimate like that, but intimate. Okay? They've bought from you. They're your past clients, they're your current clients, they're your friends, they're people you go have coffee with, they're people you've met at networking events and you've actually created a relationship with or a friendship with. That's your inner circle. Okay? Your warm zone is people who are connected to the inner circle. Right? So it would be all of you are now my inner circle. So everyone that you know is my warm zone. Does that make sense? Okay. Now the cold zone is the people on Instagram, or the people on LinkedIn, are those people that don't know anything about you. That's the cold zone. Yeah, exactly. Degrees of separation, right? So we have to think when we think of marketing, the easiest people to reach are people in your inner circle, people on your email list, the people following you already online, the people you've met at networking events, the people you bumped into on the street outside Asia on Aza Street. Okay, like those are your inner circle. Is people who I met when I ran a Nefesh B'Nefesh freelancer course, right? That's my inner circle, right? So everyone, the warm zones was everyone you guys know is now my warm zone. My cold zone are people out in the multi-universe that aren't connected to me. Because I have, let's say, 2,500 followers on Instagram. They're in my inner circle. I haven't utilized them yet. Some of them I have, because some of you are here because of that. But there's all the people beyond the 2,400. It's the 4,000 people that saw my carousel today, because only 2,000 of you are my followers, right? So there's all my non-followers. That's the cold zone. Does that make sense to everyone when I say it like that? Okay. So our job today is actually, we're going to make the inner circle really strong so that the cold chasing, the cold zone is something you do as part of your systems. It's something that we put into play as part of your everyday systems. Okay? But before, how many of you actually know who your ideal client is? Zamira doesn't count because she's worked with me for a year. So she can't put her hand up, but she knows. How many really know? Who, what, where, how? Exactly, you help. Because we can't do any marketing unless we know this. So I want to show you in the workbook. I'm going to stop share here. You can do this now, but I'm actually going to pick share. Okay, so this is the worksheet. This is something that you can utilize over and over again, right? Like my ideal client has changed in the last 4 years, and every time I have my ideal client changes, I recheck who my ideal client is. All right. Also, I want you to check what you will enjoy doing. Now, you can't tell me I can't do any social media. Okay. But like what do you enjoy more? Is it getting coffee people? Is it writing helpful tips? Is it speaking at events? Is it creating guides? Is it connecting with people? What do you generally love to do? So I want you to keep that in mind as we go through. So now let's talk about your ideal client. Anybody want to be a guinea pig? Nadia, you want to be a guinea pig?
I want to be a guinea pig.
Who wanted to be a big
Naomi.
Naomi? Okay. Sorry, Nadia. We'll come back to you. Naomi, where are you? She went off mic. I can't see anything. Okay. My client is basic formula.
My client is somebody who wants to pay money, who has money and wants to spend it.
What do you sell? What are you offering?
Desserts, customized desserts.
Okay, my client isn't just everyone who wants to spend money. What type of customized desserts do you do?
Anything you want.
What is your top selling product?
Cakes.
What type of cakes?
Anything you can't get in a bakery.
Would you be like birthday cakes?
Yes.
Personalized birthday cakes?
Exactly.
Personalized cookies, personalized cupcakes. Okay, so let's go with that idea. Okay. I actually liked it. I sell everything you can't get in a bakery. That's a great line. If you think about it. Because if you go to Ne'eman, all of the Ne'emans is a mousse cake. None of us want a bloody mousse cake. How many of us go into Israeli bakery and sit in the synagogue? Why can't they have regular cakes? Why is it only mousse cakes? Can they only make mousse cakes? That's how it is here, okay? So my client is someone who wants to buy something that isn't in a bakery, right? And they come to me when they want something personalized. That's the simple version,
Yeah.
right? Now, I want you to picture your perfect client. Close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes for a second. Picture your perfect client. Imagine you have a storefront for your business. Okay? I know we're service providers. Imagine you have a storefront. Okay? Even if you work virtually. All right? You're standing at the counter. I want you to look around. How is your space decorated? What's the vibe? Is there a quote on the wall? Is there specific colors? Is it warm or is it cold? How does it make you feel when you look around this store? Is it modern? Is it old-fashioned? Does it remind you of a 1800 movie? Or is it like a Star Trek episode? What does it feel like, look like? What's hanging from the walls? What pictures do you have up? Do you have a coffee machine? Is it elite coffee? Or is it an espresso? Or is it a fancy espresso machine? Right? I want you to get very specific and look around. And then all of a sudden, there's a door open and little bell rings. And in walks your ideal client. And your eyes light up. This is the type of person you love helping the most. You know how to help them. Your mind is always spinning with ideas. They make you excited to get up and go to work. Naomi, who just walked in? Describe them.
A nice looking lady, can't say. Somebody who is excited to buy a cake,
What type of cake is she buying?
a birthday cake.
Okay. What flavor does she want?
Um, the classic vanilla with the classic birthday cake.
Does she want anything special on it?
She wants to be written on it, happy birthday for her daughter.
Is it fondant or is it buttercream?
No, it is vanilla cream.
Why does she want is vanilla cream all you sell or is that what
No, it's just the easiest.
So you want that client who wants something personalized but is happy to go with the easiest cake.
Yes.
Okay. That's your ideal client. So that's what we want to reach out to. Aviva, I'm going to pick on you now. Who walked into that door?
Individual that I have a thing because I feel it's like slightly different clients because I do courses and also individual therapy.
Mm-hmm.
If I take the courses, it's really someone I would say more women. I would say around 40s to 50s, say 30s to 50s, that sort of age group who really have like studied something and now they want to learn a bit more to either incorporate it into what they're already doing or to launch a new sort of a therapeutic service. There's someone who has the money to be able to pay for it, is willing to invest the time to be able to do that, who's motivated, who's self-motivated, who gets on with other people and likes working in a group. Let's say
Okay,
that's
there's one thing I want you to take out of the equation. Has money?
well, being able to, because I have people who say to me, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the money.
Right. But there are people who are willing to do something if they're willing to do it. And I think we have to, yes, your ideal client has to have the money to buy your item, but it might need, they might not have it. They'll find a way. If someone wants to work with you, if someone wants to buy from you, they'll find a way.
I don't know if that's 100% true because there was a time I thought, okay, my ideal client will be Haredi women because they often want to do alternative therapy. They like learning this thing, but they really didn't want to pay.
Then they're not your ideal client.
That's what I'm saying. So it wasn't.
Right.
So
But
the
then that's
finance,
right.
money does make an issue. Does make a difference. If they don't have any money to pay, but they like the idea, it doesn't really help me.
But what I'm saying to you is the same way as like sometimes you have to you have to do the switch in your ideal client. Right? Like if you are offering a free workshop, they would probably come,
נכון.
right? If you would offer a workshop for 36 shekels, they probably would also come,
Sure.
right? How many times do they need to come to a 36 shekel workshop for them to see how good you are to pay your big fee?
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Right? So when we say they can't afford it, that's not the truth.
Uh,
Choosing not to invest in you because we haven't marketed to them in the right way. Okay, did that help a lot of people when I talk about that? Because we're going to move on, but that's what I want you to understand is that your ideal client is something you need to do a check-in with every 6 months. Right? Has my ideal client changed? Right? I don't say that I work with men or women. People assume I only work with men, but I mean women, but I work with both. It's people's assumptions that I don't work with men. I don't have it anywhere. But that was only because someone said to me, "Oh, do you only work?" I used to only work with women, and then I started coaching men, and the men are like, "Michal, you need to tell other men that you work with men because you're really good." But I kept thinking, "Oh, I can't work with men." So I just wasn't putting it out there. Now I just don't say men or women. People choose. Right? But again, it's in the messaging, it's in the marketing. I don't say female event planners, I say event professionals. And keep it very unisex. But the more specific you are, again, I don't care where they live. I do want to know where they're hanging out online or where they're not, where they're hanging out in real time. Are they hanging out on WhatsApp status? Are they hanging out on WhatsApp groups? Right? Where are they hanging out for you to be able to reach them if you can't reach them face to face? That's really important, right? And it's okay. You don't have to be specific 100%. Like Mike probably has a bunch of different types of ideal clients. Mike, you probably do, right? Do you have a bunch of different? Right. I know your business has very different types.
Yeah, it depends. It because like I offer two different services and it depends on which country. So like a client from South Africa is a very different demographic than the ones we have in America.
Right. So here what I've done is think of 3 clients you loved working with or you love selling to. Okay? List everything you can think about them. And you put questions before. What problem did they initially come to you with? What was their ultimate goal? What category did their goal fall into? Right? Career, business, creative fulfillment, relationship, or confidence. Aviva, I came to you because I wanted to be a coach and I knew NLP was going to help me in that process. Right? Like I was your ideal client. I'm one of your ideal clients. Right? What else did they want along the way? What was standing in their way? What did they try before reaching out to you? What do they do for work? What stage of life are they in? What finally convinced them to work with you? Do you relate to where they are in life? Did you want to have the problem they have? Right? And you want to write that down for all 3 of them. What patterns do you see? And then out of everyone you work with so far, what type of person comes to you the most? Right, let me call you do 2 services. You do the ketuvas, and then you do Nicole, what are the 2 things you do? Because you're service and product, right? It's okay, you'll figure it out eventually. It's okay. It's okay. No one can see me, so you being on mute is good. Custom gifts. Okay, right. So it's what type of person comes to you most for custom gifts? And ketubas is easy. It's bride and grooms, or maybe it's the parents, or maybe it's someone who's buying the ketuba for someone, right? But what type of person comes all the time for custom gifts? Right? What problems do most people come to you to solve? It's they want something personalized, they want something beautiful, they want something that has that it's a gift from them. What other things? And then what are the results most people are looking for? Even with product, there's a result. It could just be a feeling. Right? And then this is the money part. Who would be most willing and able to pay you well to solve the problem? And what problem is that? Again, you don't have to share any of like all of this publicly. Like when you're doing your marketing, and like all of this doesn't have to come up, right? But this is when you come and you're going to a network and you're doing your 60 seconds, or you're meeting someone for coffee and they ask you what you do, right? Like this all comes up. Like it's all connected together. Right? I want to work with people who care about, struggle with, and want. People come to when they already tried and didn't help them achieve. Like, Nicole, you make beautiful gifts, right? They probably went on Etsy and were like, nothing's good enough here for the person I want to give, or I want it much more personalized, right? My skills are ideal for someone who needs. People usually realize it's time to work with me when. Again, some of this works for you and some of it doesn't, right? Now, Naomi, now that I've talked about that, my client is, and they come to me when. And you have 2 types of clients, Naomi. You have clients who live here and clients who live abroad who would want to send a cake. All right? So my client is someone who wants we're all having technical difficulties today. It's really Mercury in retrograde.
I tell you what my ideal client is. Somebody who wants to order something is not asking for the price. A person who says, okay, how much is it? And then straight away they go, if they see the ones that say, oh, no, it's too expensive, then I try to give them different options. But my ideal client is somebody who doesn't even ask how much it is. And at the end of the day, after the delivery, they say, okay, how much do I owe you?
Okay, so now you know ideal client.
Yeah, but
there are other things around that I'll deal with, but that's not the call today. There's so many things I'll talk to you about that thing, but we'll get there when we talk on our 30 minutes. But okay, but now you know the things. Okay, so now let's get back to the slides. All right, put your hand, like even just give me a thumbs up if that helped you a little bit more than before. It's okay if it didn't, but it's fine. Okay, great. All right, let me go back. Oh, God. You know, Zoom. All right. Let's share. There we go. You should see now that. All right. There we go. All right. So we've done that. All right. So now we're going 5 ways to use social media without burnout. Okay. This is going to be moved. All right. So I'm gonna do social media and then I'm gonna get into all the other aspects of marketing. All right. Social media, there is. I know you're so excited for this. I'm gonna start Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Snapchat if we were 17, 18 years old, but Baruch Hashem, here we are not. Okay, WhatsApp status. Okay, those are all, ironically, social media links. I think there's 9. There probably is more and I just forgot them. But those are your, let's say, if you would talk about where most of your people are, those are your social media. Okay? Now, okay, so I made it really easy. We overthink any social media. All right? If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're on WhatsApp status, you can share one story a week. One story a week is something like personal, client win, a lesson, a behind the scenes, right? I would say more than once a week. You need to turn up on Instagrams, you have to turn up on stories once a week. I mean more than once a week. Like if you can every day, but like if you can't, commit to 3 times a week. And how it works on Instagram and also how it works even on Facebook stories is we're just talking stories, we're not talking feed, is business, personal, business. Or you could do personal, business, personal. Like I am very invested in Nicole's flowers because she posts them during the spring. I am very invested. When my orchid blossoms, I send a picture of Nicole. Like I just do. Right? So when we talk about social media, we
What do
want
you mean? What do you mean by personal? Like my
we want to
Instagram,
hear, yeah,
I'm
we
still
want
growing it. I've only done 2 posts so far because
okay.
the
Yeah, yeah.
rate, but it's all been business related posts. I don't like my intention was to separate my personal life and my business life.
So one of the things that we are finding in 2025, and I think it's whatever anyone says going into 2026, is we spent a lot of time at home the last 5 years. We spent a lot of time not going out and meeting people and connecting with people. And people are craving connection. So even if you are a brand, right? Coca-Cola still shows us their factories. Coca-Cola might still show us how they come up with a new marketing plan. Right? It's getting to know the person behind the company. Even Mike, if it was behind the scenes of what you do. Even if it's a cup of coffee, starting my day with a cup of coffee. And could have the logo of your company. Right? That's how simple it is. But it's just seeing someone behind the screen. It's that personal connection. Right? That's what people are craving. And they're craving it on all platforms. And none of this is new. Like whatever you post on Instagram will go to Facebook, which can go to WhatsApp status. And then when you're posted on LinkedIn, that's a slightly different thing. But none of it's new. You don't have to come up with anything. But people want to get to know you. Again, what did I say? It's about making friends. Right? And these are 5 things you can do. Okay? Share one story a week, client win, again, each day, right? A client win, a lesson, a behind the scenes, right? So it's like, that's already 3 posts, stories. And you can do the same with the feeds, right? This was the hardest for me. I just took a social media course. So this for me was the 3 to 4 warm DMs per week. I do 3 to 5 a day. It is the
3
scariest.
to 5 posts a
5
day.
direct messages to people out in the world. Now with LinkedIn, it's easy. So when people follow me, I send a message like, hi, how are you? Thank you for following me. Like, what brought you over to my page? So if I get new followers on Instagram, if I get new followers on LinkedIn, I send that message straight away.
But you don't reach out to like random
Oh, I
people.
do. Now I do. I do. My niche is my niche on Instagram in all of my platforms is I work with events professionals because I've decided to niche down to be more specific for people. I work with all businesses, but like I'm being more specific with my marketing. I am reaching out every day. Oh my gosh, beautiful dresses, beautiful makeup and hair, or that event looked amazing. How long, right? Like,
How are you avoiding getting so what's I maybe it's because my Instagram is too young, too fresh.
yeah.
But if I were to message someone, I noticed like I was testing when I messaged myself that you can see the notifications if you receive someone, but you've also got like that hidden folder for if it's
Yeah.
like Instagram thinks it's spam or something.
Um,
So is that happening to you, or do you like
um,
is it just
so
Instagram's too fresh?
again, sometimes it will be like, they'll get a notification that they have a message. And if you're a bot, it puts you in the hidden. Most of the times we're not bots. So they'll put you like you've got a notification and eventually see it. So everyone I've messaged in the last week, I didn't do my 3 to 5 today. Everyone I messaged in the last week, some have started conversations, some haven't. It could be I saw this story and I replied to this story. Again, it's not easy. I will say this is probably the hardest thing to do. But even on LinkedIn, it's, oh my God, I saw your post. It was really, really interesting, right? That's it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Again, we're not selling, we're just building relationships, right? That's what we're doing. Um, so that can be on any of the platforms, right? On your feed and in your stories, reintroduce yourself monthly, who you help and how they can hire you or how they can buy from you. And I would pin it once a month to the top of wherever it is, whatever platform you are. And then every month you're going to change it up because every month you're going to have a different way to begin that conversation. You also have like create a work with me highlight. This is specifically for Instagram and not for LinkedIn, but in LinkedIn you can have in features like work with me. So you can create in LinkedIn how to work with me in the features. Right? And then answer one real question. So if you're having a conversation with a potential client, they've asked you a question, answer that question on social media. Because if that person has the question, then guaranteed whoever's following you, because remember, we're still talking that if they're following you, they're in your warm. But if they're not following you, right? Or if they're then all of this is going to help, right? But if they are following you and they haven't bought from you yet, then you answering the question that you're having already in, like someone asked me today on a sales call, I know you can't guarantee anything of if my business is going to be successful. I was like, no, I can't. I was like, but how much longer you're willing to live with it being a hobby? And that's what I kept going back to. Right? Someone asked me, you guarantee that I'm gonna get my ROI? I was like, no, I can't, because I don't know if you're actually going to implement everything I'm going to teach you. But I can tell you those people who worked with me for 6 months did double their income. That's a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It's a statistic that I've gotten from my past clients. Right? So those are questions that are going to come up that I can do, let's say for Instagram, for instance, I can do a fake question box. Just this is pretty much what everyone does. So don't think I'm special. You put in the questions and then you answer them. But the questions, you put them in because someone is going to appreciate you. They're going to know that question's there. But if you follow this, right, it's really simple. I'll get into the feed stuff, but this is just around posting. But if you're posting, you can post offers, testimonials, how to book, right? Questions, who you help, how you hire, and then you want to do consistently. I will say this for LinkedIn, I will say this for Instagram, I will say this 3 posts a week. That's it. 3 posts. And it's what we call, and this is something I'm implementing because I just took the call. The DMs are potentially people you can become friends with. I will tell you, I made lots of friends on Instagram who are actually my real friends in real life now. But what you want to do is awareness, consideration, and conversion content. How to work with me is conversion content. Right? Conversion is where you're actually saying, buy from me. Awareness content is saying, hi, here I am. Right? It could be a point of view. It could be it could be trending reels that are going. It could be anything, right? It's just like awareness. Hi, by the way, I make these beautiful cookies. That's it. Awareness. And then consideration is I use the top type of ingredients, or this is the myth, or it's a tip. 5 tips if you're starting to write a book. And by the way, you can use the same thing with your emails. If you're sending out a monthly email, your emails can be the same format. Like everything I'm giving you is the same thing you can use on every platform you should be on. And I'm not telling you as a coach, I'm on all the platforms. You don't have to be on the platforms, on all of them. Not every one of your businesses should be on every platform. But again, if you know where your ideal client is hanging out, that's where you need to be. I'm going to go back to that other slide. Okay, we're going to go back. So this is, again, social media is still about making friends. So engagement is about relationships, not just numbers. No matter what platform you're on, engaged with your people's posts. If it's people who are in the same industry of you, if it's referral partners, engage with their posts. Write an interesting comment. Write something that's provocative. So whatever it is, engage. Now, you could be sitting on the toilet and you got your phone in there because we all know you do. Don't lie. We all know you do it. You can engage with people for 5 minutes when you're sitting. Don't stay too long sitting on the toilet and engage it because it's bad for you to stay there for too long. But like engage. It's really simple. Whatever platform your people are hiring from. Right? And again, like Mike, what I said is engage, connect with 3 admired people and engage thoughtfully. Right? Is it your ideal client? Is it people that they know? Is it a referral partner that you can connect with online in the DMs? But start meaningful conversations. Some of my conversations have gone, some of them have died down. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to keep going. Right? We don't want it to, it's really hard because I'm like, how many times can I say, wow, your pictures are pretty, your work, whatever. The other day, she's like, I'm like, you have 3 businesses? How are you balancing 3 businesses? Well, she's busy now, so she can't reply to that. Right? So we want authentic relationships. This can all happen in social media. But the engagement is actually the key. This is the key to growth. Okay? Now we get to the other parts. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Ask as many. Yeah, guys, if you need to ask questions, ask questions.
How do you make people engage in your when you post something?
So it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. It's funny because I've been hitting pretty much I'm hitting like 1,000 views on my stuff. If you asked me 2 months ago, I was hitting 200. Now I'm hitting 1,000. The one today, I'll check now. Again, and I'm gonna say something to this in a minute that has nothing to do with why I'm saying this. Yeah, we've already hit 5,000 for my carousel that I wrote today. Views mean nothing. I have, you know what means something? 145 hearts, 42 messages. Half of them are me replying to other people, because when someone messages you, you reply to them. One person did the tourney thing, which is basically reposted it, and 2 people sent it to 2 people. Shared it. I think one of those is me. Okay. That's what you want. Why did it do so well? It's my origin story. It was one of the reasons, it's a story of me realizing I was burnt out after doing IVF. If you didn't read it, you can go there. But it's basically me showing why I'm an expert in prioritizing yourself, because I didn't prioritize myself. And then I sell at the end, because this is conversion content. You can take your origin story and turn it into conversion content, right? A client story is awareness. Like Nicole, when you talk about your client coming to you and they wanted a specific type of ketuvah, right? That is awareness content for you. But let's say for you, consideration, yeah.
How do you balance? So, like, I'm sure you've seen on LinkedIn, there's like, it's gotten to the point where it's hard to tell the difference between a real client story that we can use to like express who we are and what we're selling, and like the million stories that are just made up by corporate people. Do you like take that into account in the language that you use, that you're like competing against like people who are trying to turn themselves into like corporate influencers? Because like I'm having to like police my language so it comes off as authentic.
Part of it is if you have a testimonial that you could put it into you could put it into you can put it into the picture. That creates authenticity, right? So that's number one. You can have a testimonial as your picture, and that you can't get any more authentic as that. You can put a link to a case study in your website, saying if you want more about how this client did, blah, blah, send them to the case study in the website. So that also gives you, because then you're showing them where it's going to, right? If you don't have case studies, again, every industry has different things, but case studies is very important. So that's another way of doing it. And I think again is the way I look at LinkedIn, I post 3 times on LinkedIn. It was my commitment for Q3, and now I'm doing engagement. That was my commitment for Q4. Is 1 awareness, 1 consideration, one conversion, and that's how I do my
like a week, 1 awareness, 1 consideration, and 1 conversion a week.
Yep. And conversion could be, let's talk. Conversion could be, can you recommend me someone? Conversion could be not necessarily selling, but it's kind of like my ask. Get on my wait list, all of that.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right, so we want to stop selling the flight and we want to start selling the destination. Okay? Like talking only about the what, your service or your product, the fix, talk about the results and the feeling, the solution. All right? So you want to talking only what you do. You just list your services. I offer social media management, or I sell handmade jewelry. This is boring and it sounds like everyone else. Okay, so this is the blending in trap. If you blend in, clients treat you like the cheap commodity. So I will say, Naomi, I had a client who just finished with me. One of her selling points is she uses very high level type of ingredients. So we talked about that all the time. She used one of why the reasons her prices were higher was because she uses top notch. She doesn't use, you know, cheap vanilla bought at the supermarket. She goes and buys, and she shows it in one of her things. She goes and buys really expensive vanilla because she prides herself on the quality of products she uses in her bakery. Right? So that's the type of thing people want to see to make you different, to stand out. Not who you help or the results you sell. You need to talk about the destination, the good feeling after, not the journey, the service itself. Right, Nicole, you do it really well when you show the video of the weddings. I know you're like, but when you show like the people so excited when they get the ketuvah or when they get their gift, right? Like that's the feeling,
The
right?
other thing I was going to say, I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself before, but you were talking
Sure.
about
Yeah.
the feeling of the ideal client is, I was going to add that one of the things I do aside from ketubas is like very high end personalized custom artwork.
Yep.
So it's like for giving the gift to the person who has everything. And when the win for that is the gift giver feeling like they gave a anniversary gift to their parents. Their parents have every object they could ever want to buy. And when they feel like they gave something super personalized and thoughtful and something they could never, like you said before, never buy in a store, that feeling is what I need to learn also how to, but exactly.
Yeah, but there are words, and guys, you're gonna hate me when I say, except for Nadia, who has the most beautiful written word in her brain than anyone's, is go back to Claude. I'm not gonna tell you to chat. I'm gonna tell you to go to Claude and have a conversation with Claude, saying, I'm trying to how do I get this out? How do I share that feeling? Like Zamira, when people get the keys to their apartment after you walk into their kitchen and they see that new kitchen, or they go to the toilet in their brand new bathroom, or they use their shower for the first time. Can you imagine? It's updated, it's new, the pressure works, right? They finally have a dishwasher. They got 2 ovens, right? That feeling, they have 2 sinks. The kids can go to their own bathroom. They don't have to use mine. Or the kids come into my bathroom because my bathroom's nicer because I just got it done, right? Like those are the things you want to talk about, the results, right? When your message is too general, it makes people click away. They can't tell what makes you special, so they default to the cheapest option. If you went to my Instagram now, it says 16 years as event planner. I hired you, right? Industry secrets, right? I don't blend in anymore. I have 16 years of being in the events industry. So I have all the industry secrets of what's going to make my client go to McColl and bring in your ketubah rather than someone else's. I'm just giving you an example, right? I think Neely's not on here. The big results they want. This is the true goal. A photographer client doesn't want photos. They want to feel confident and beautiful or have memories that last forever. Right? So again, it's how we word it. Right, Nadia, when you help people write their book, what is the feeling they get after working with you? What are the results?
Well, it's something that's an ongoing process that actually they're enjoying the process.
Okay, but what is the process getting them towards?
For some people, it's publishing a book.
Okay. So I get that. I get you that little bit closer to being able to publish that book. Like, think about what the feelings or what the results you get from them. Esther, what do you do? I'm so sorry. Esther, what do you do? And we've lost Sergey. I don't know where he...
I do makeup.
Right.
I do
So,
makeup.
okay, so we know that's easy, Esther.
Yeah.
Right? What are the results? I make you look absolutely freaking gorgeous, and you didn't have to
Mhm.
put the fake eyelashes on. I did.
Right.
Right?
Like
So,
with a testimonial, if I like got a testimonial from someone and then I like publish that, that gives that same result, no?
yeah, that does, but you also want to, let's say you're recording doing a makeup of someone that they're fine with you recording, and you're doing your voiceover, right? And you talk about what the client wanted, the type of makeup that client wanted. She wanted to look at very natural. You had to explain that even with natural, you still have to put on, one of
Mhm.
the things we do is we make sure that the face is ready. And then when she saw herself in the mirror, she was blown away of how like she's, she knew she had makeup on, but it looked amazing. And then when she got the professional pictures, it was like that, wow. Right? Because then you're connecting all the dots together if you think about it.
Got it.
Right? Does that, so it's the
Yeah.
results. If you look on your worksheet, if I can do this. Sorry, that's not it. That is not what I wanted. Hold on. Hold on. Too many things open. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but in the worksheet, I'm assuming you can see the worksheet now. There's a whole thing about selling your results. So what results do people come to you for? What do they walk in asking for? What problem do your clients have right now that now that you're working with that you solve? That was really bad English. That's horrible English. Confidence, abundance, freedom, too vague. You want to be more specific. Right? Like Esther, they're coming to you because they want to look beautiful. They don't want to do their own makeup. They want their makeup to last for the whole night. They're getting their, whatever it is, right? So it's being very specific on the words. It's always specific. How do their results show up in everyday life? It's not, some of it won't be every day. They're not, the clients are not paying, they're not paying for the feeling itself, but what the feeling lets them do in real life. Right? So you want to be specific. And why do your clients want this result? How do they think their life will improve by having it? Career, business, creative, fulfillment, relationships, or peace of mind. Right? And then we get deeper. Right? Sergey, where are you? You can turn your mic off. I don't know where you've gone.
I'm here. I'm all,
Okay. What
all
are
the
your
time
clients, what are the results your clients want? So that my clients want this result so that they, what are some of the results?
here. Do you mean immediate results or the final results?
Give me both. Give me a couple different ones. So
Okay,
that
in
my
my
client wants,
case,
yeah,
the clients want to get a job. In the end, and from me, they want to get a service which can help them to get the job, like beautifully written and quickly written resumes.
okay. So my client wants a CV that's going to get through the stupid AI stuff that they now have in high tech.
Not AI, ATS.
Okay.
It's much more
Right. But you know
simple.
what I'm saying? Like that's
But
a result. That's important.
Mhm.
right? Is my client wants the CV to stand out,
To
right?
stand out, yes, and to be relevant.
Right. So like these are
And
very important. I want you guys to really
Mhm.
think about like my client wants results so that they.
Mhm.
Again, no one really, there are going to be people who ask about the process, but they're not worried about the journey. They will ask about the journey, but they want to know the results for, okay? Right, people don't pay their therapist $400 an hour to sit and chat. They pay to stop having panic attacks at the grocery store and finally feeling calm around their family, right? All of us today who heard the thunder and lightning would all like to not feel like there's a giant world war happening above us when it was just thunder and lightning. Right? Like that's why we might go to a therapist or we might be on drugs. Someone doesn't pay $200 to sit in a chair at a salon, they pay to walk out feeling gorgeous and confident. Right? They don't pay $50 to work out with a trainer, they pay to feel strong and fit into their favorite jeans or feel attractive again. Right? The test is if your result is strong enough to ask yourself, in my client's eyes, is the result worth the price? Right?
How can I ask a question?
Yeah, ask.
So I'm just thinking, like, say people come to my course, you could say that the result is a certification, but there's lots of different courses that offer the same certification, but they might be different. And I might be offering something different to what, say, I don't know, some other course that can be very not personal or not, like that could offer like a similar, you could get a certification of NLP at the end. So
Right.
is that
One of the things
destination?
I say, and I say when I say I studied NLP, is I did a 2-year program that wasn't a Udemy. I worked really, really hard. I did, I worked really, really hard to do this course. I had to do 60 hours of actual practicum on people so that when I utilize all the things I learned in NLP, right, I'm using them to actually get results for the people that I'm working with. And I wanted a 2-year program because of that.
So you would say the destination is to get in not just certification, but it's also so it is a journey as well.
Yeah, but you're not saying you're not gonna say, hi, you come and work with me for 2 years and blah blah blah, right?
Oh,
You're
sure.
saying my NLP program is so that you can use it to assist the clients that you want to go work with. You're gonna have all the tools when you leave my program
Mhm.
to either be an NLP, it's not master practitioner, right? Practitioner, or utilize all the tools in whatever industry you work in to help your clients and be a better professional. I'm a better professional because I went to 2 years in NLP with you.
Hmm.
Everyone here is literally listening to me utilize everything I learned in the 2nd year. And some people get the guided imagery every so often, or timeline therapy. I know I'm giving free advertisement for an NLP master practitioner course. I'm just all telling you, but it's I utilize it in my coaching all the time.
Okay, so part of it is a journey, but you're doing it as a result in a way.
Exactly. Again, the journey for what I'm saying is don't be specific, right? Like what I
Wow.
say is, hi, I offer 2 coaching calls a month plus WhatsApp coaching. No, I give you the tools so that 3 years from now, when something comes up, you're gonna have Michal K in the back of your head telling you exactly how to solve it because you have the tools that I've taught you. Do you see?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay. Now we get to be the expert. Now, I'm going to say something. All of the stuff that I'm talking about, all of it can be used when you meet people for coffee, when you talk to the guy at the Marcolet, when you bump into someone on the street. Everything I'm saying doesn't have to just be social media. It could be in your newsletters. It can be everywhere. It's not just online. This is something that you can talk about over and over again in different ways. All right? Like this is all the tools here are constant. Now, be the go-to expert. How to stand out in your niche. And there's all little different rights. Okay, so share your thoughts. Tell people how you think, not just the facts you know. Own your own idea. What do you believe about the work that others don't? Easy to keep up. The best way to stand out is the one you can stick with without getting tired. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I did these workshops because I wanted new people to come into my sphere. Now, in the beginning I was offering, I'm using my own example because I learned a lot through these workshops. So beginning, I did them with a week's worth of WhatsApp coaching. That was a big mistake. Because my superpower isn't necessarily, you don't see my superpower in the WhatsApp coaching. You see my superpower when you coach with me. So now, anyone who signed up for this one and the next one, you get a half an hour for this one, and you get 45 minutes for the next one. So you get to spend time with me, where you get to watch me and my superpower. Once I did that, it was so much easier to sell this. It was easy for me to talk about it all the time because I was like, why am I talking about this? I was like, I cannot talk about this. So when you're selling something, you have to love it so much that you are willing to talk about it every day, 17,000 times a day. If you don't, you're not selling it. Either you're not selling it the right way or it's not the right thing that you're selling.
Just a question here, Michal.
Yep.
Okay, so I get that idea. The thing is this, for me, okay, so I'm a copywriter, and the people who are interested in hearing about copywriting are other copywriters. The business owners don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, they do.
So how do I talk about it?
What do copywriters do, Daphna?
They clarify business's messaging. They are basically their copywriters, or copy itself is basically the bridge between your business and the people you're trying to reach.
Okay, so so think about it is that I create copy that's going to convert clients.
Right. But when you're getting into like the details of it, what do you believe about your work? Talking about the nitty-gritty aspects of copywriting is not what business owners want to know.
They want to know how you would say you could do, for example, a before and after. What your client sent you and what it looked like after.
You're saying like more share your work kind of thing.
It could be that's how you do it that could be it. It could be a tip. 5 things people don't realize their copy says about them. Right? Like I did an Instagram post where I'm trying to engage with people, right? I'm trying to connect with people on Instagram. And I kept looking for people in the events industry. And some of these people didn't post since October. If you're in the events industry and you're not posting on a regular basis on Instagram, that is your CV. That is your calling card. So if you're not showing yourself, so it's the same thing here. How do you show yourself as the expert? What are the results? I'm the expert and I'm going to get you the results.
Well, showing myself as an expert is basically showing them how to do it on their own.
Or it's your point of view, right? Or it's a myth. Or it's a tip. Right?
So the tips.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tips are like, 5 things you can do today to upgrade your copy for 20.
Right. In other words,
yeah.
In other words, if you're not hiring me, here's stuff that you can do to make it better on your own.
Right. Like Claude only helps you so far. I help you the next 5,000 steps. This is the difference between using Claude, and this is the difference between using me,
Okay.
right? Especially because you're fighting with AI. Your competition is AI.
The competition is AI, but at least people think it is.
Right, exactly. That's what people think. It doesn't mean it is, but that's the myth you're gonna break.
I feel like that's like so overtalked.
And it's funny because I talked about it again at networking, and is all of us, a lot of, well, Michelle, who literally runs an AI company, we all talk about that AI is not taking over, and it's actually going to it's going to switch, it's going to shift, where people are not going to she told me about this whole thing that was basically two big companies. She has to send me the article. Coca-Cola and another company. Coca-Cola did a commercial using AI, and another company did a commercial with actual real people. People got really, really mad at Coca-Cola
Sure.
because people, again, the same way I'm talking about creating friendships, creating connections, keeping relationships, people don't want to watch their Christmas commercial through AI.
I know this
For
is
sure.
controversial, but I think Coca-Cola did it on purpose because it's not the first time that they've done things negatively in order to get you to think about them. I mean, I read a number of like marketing studies
Yeah.
where they were discovering that Coca-Cola is intentionally making some of their, extra flavors intentionally not as good as it could be, so you would subconsciously think about how much you like the original flavor.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past Coca-Cola, but in this case, it actually backlashed against them.
The idea is that people are talking about them, whether it's positive or
Right,
negative.
exactly.
They're talking about
Coca-Cola,
Coca-Cola.
they don't care. Bad press, they don't care. Good press, any press is good press, right? For them.
Right.
Right. But what
Because
we're
they're
seeing is,
Coca-Cola.
right, because I had a whole conversation with my cousin. She does a lot of new AI, and I said, she said, is it UCG? Because my brain is mush. UCG, where like people make videos about a product. She goes, AI is going to take over. And I said, no, because at the end of the day is someone wants to know that you've actually used this makeup product. And an AI doesn't show you that.
I think AI is going to take over mediocre copywriting, just like Canva has, kind of taken over mediocre graphics.
Yeah.
Meaning if a startup who kind of needs who needs a logo, if they're not up to the point where they're ready to hire a designer, they can slap together something decent on Canva.
Yeah.
But it's not going to serve them long term. It's just like in the meantime. So I think that that's what AI is I think it's going to knock out the mediocre copywriters, but I don't think it's going to knock out really good copy.
Nadia helps people write books. No one's going to be able to replace the relationship building and the to get that relationship to happen. Right? Like Sergey, you help people with their CVs, but there's stuff that you give that AI will never be able to give. An interior designer, yes, you can do a nice, pretty picture on chat, things, but it's still not, you told me, Zamira, like you're helping your mother with the measurements. It's still never going to be AI. No one's able to be, AI can't build.
Actually, I intend and do help people with AI. For
No,
me, AI is a
AI
tool,
as a tool. Right. You use AI as a
a
tool.
great tool.
Right, but it's not the be all and end all. Right? No one's been able to bake a cake. Okay? No one's been able to, AI isn't going to be able to do anyone's makeup. Okay? I'm just telling you all. So how your expert is what's your unique, what's your superpower? And talk about it. And talk about how you got there, your origin story. How did it become your superpower? People want to know. People like a little story. All right, 3 ways to get clients without social media. Zamira, where did I meet you? Let's tell the story. Zamira, where did I meet you?
You were the event planner at my wedding.
Okay. And why did you come to me as a client for my business coaching? Where did you meet me after that?
Networking.
Okay. And how long did it take for you to decide to hire me?
It wasn't long after you joined the networking. You even said to me at one point, you knew it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Naomi bumped into me on a street. I was coming home from dinner with my family. She's in this course. Okay. Sergey met me on a course I did for Nefesh B'Nefesh.
Exactly.
Right. Mikol's been in my circle for 35 years.
Mhm.
Not in that type of circle, but in the friendship circle. Right? Every single person here, and there are people who are
So
not
you're at least 35 years old then.
exactly
Okay.
just 35, right, Mikol? We're just 35. There are people who are not in here who I've talked to on Instagram. I built relationships on Instagram who couldn't make the call tonight, but that was a relationship I built on Instagram. Esther, Hester, you get my email, right?
I got your email, but also because I went to a networking event at Nefesh B'Nefesh
There you
before
go.
the Chagim,
All the way. Ladies, March
and
17th.
also from my mother on LinkedIn.
That's good. March 17th. It's the next women's one. Sorry, men. I'm sorry. I love you all, but the next one was March 17th. But networking. So every single one of you here is in my inner circle now. But I all met you not necessarily through like it was connections. Everything is building relationships. So network with real people to create opportunities. And I really mean everyone. I had a client who's a lawyer who hated telling, she just never told her friends that she was a lawyer. They would be like two real estate lawyers and they'd walk into the park on Shabbos afternoon and he would be like, I'm a lawyer and I do real estate law. She would never say anything. And then her friends would be like, Dvorny, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm a real estate lawyer. And now she walks into her room, she tells everyone. Because then everyone knows. So then that inner circle becomes the warm circle. And then it expands, right? Do you see what I was saying to you about the inner circle and the warm circle? It's a lot bigger than you think it is, but you just have to utilize them. And it means reminding the people in the inner circle to tell the people in the warm circle. And it could be then the people in the warm circle tell the people in the cold circle. Because after 3 points, they're not warm for you. But if you're not even telling the inner circle, you're not selling, you're not talking about your offers, you're not doing any of that, then it's not going to happen. Now, if you don't have an email list, you need to have an email list. To get an email list, you have to offer something to someone. Okay, so it could be a freebie, it could be a coupon, it could be a checklist, whatever it is, right? You want people on your, it could be a free webinar, a workshop, whatever it is, you want people on your email list because emails, it's huge. It could be a guide, it could be a product, it could be an ebook, it could be a beautiful care guide, like top 20 products for 2026, right? Whatever it is, get people on your email list. Get people, if you have a WhatsApp group, get people in your WhatsApp group. All right? You have to look at how to get people into your sphere. You can't rely. If social media falls tomorrow, email will still be there. Funny thing, guess what? Guys, 1999, you know what's happening in 1999? Mike, guess what happened in 1999? What was there in 1999?
Y2K.
Okay, that was just the year later. Oh God, was that? Oh my God. 1999, we had email. We had email. 1994, I got my first email account. 1995, I got my first email from university.
My first email was in 1995.
There we go. My first email was 95, right? So funnily enough, email has been going and email will continue to exist. So if you don't have an email list or even a WhatsApp list or a broadcast, get people into your sphere, however you get them in. You can have 3 freebies. It could be a workshop, it could be a webinar, it could be a checklist, whatever it is. And then the biggest one is referral engine, encouraging satisfied clients to recommend your services. I give anyone, doesn't have to be a past client. If someone refers me and they sign up for a long-term coaching program, they get a little gift to say thank you. Again, I'm very specific, long-term coaching program. But anyone who refers someone to me gets a little gift. But you ask your past clients, do you anyone looking for a? I have some space. I know it's very hard to ask. It's very hard. I know how hard it is. But every so often, I send an email to my past clients. Hi, just a reminder, you get a 250 shekel gift certificate, or whatever it is. I think it's $100, whatever. It's a $100 gift certificate if you send me someone. That's a very nice gift for a long-term coaching program. It's a reminder so that they know. You could do that. It could be a discount
How
code.
would you track it?
How do you track it?
Like if,
Most of the time,
yeah, like if somebody,
yeah, so let's say Esther, if you recommend my service to someone, you could be, oh, just let you know, like I recommend it, but I also, my sales calls, I ask, like, how come you booked a call? What brought you to me? So a lot of times I know already.
yeah.
Like, it could be they followed me on Instagram that has nothing to do, or it could be they'll always mention their friend. Always. People like talking about like other people.
Got it.
Okay. So,
Question. Can you return back to the previous slide?
yeah, sure.
I think I missed, or can you elaborate on the automatic way? Yes.
Automatic way is like that, creating that freebie, and you want to have them on your email list. So actually someone I followed, I actually liked her idea. She actually doesn't have any, once you register for an email, there's like a whole thing of like, you want to do like a welcome sequence. Okay. She actually doesn't do that. What she does do is she says, thank you for downloading my freebie. I send a newsletter once a week with this type of information in it. Look out for it. That's it. And they go straight into her email, her regular emails. And I actually love that idea, and I'm actually going to do that. First of all, it saves me time. I don't have to come up with an email welcome sequence every time someone comes into a freebie, because I come up with freebies all the time. Like I could be sitting on the toilet and I'll come up with one.
Email is clear. Do you know any other ways?
What?
I mean, I understand about email, how it can be useful in an automatic way. Do you know any other ways?
Again, you can do
Except
many.
email.
Let's say you have if you're on Instagram, you could do ManyChat, which is like people comment a word and then you create a relationship that way. LinkedIn, there are there are different automation tools for LinkedIn. But again, you want to get them to book a call with you, right? So just again, it depends on what you have to think of, what you want the flow to be. What's the funnel you want? Because everyone has a different funnel, right? Like
Okay, suppose we are talking about LinkedIn. Can you be more specific? What are the tools they use?
The automatic is really for email. You want to get people on a list. You want to, even if they're not necessarily your current client now, they could be. I talk about this all the time. I talk about the Chillant and the Instapot. Sergey, you can have someone who signs up for your email, right? Because you say the 5 tips that you need to have on your CV going if you're looking for a job now. The 5 things are the most important things. They'll sign it up. You can do it on a Google Doc, just how I did that, make a copy. You get their email, and now they're on the email list, and you send an email once a month. 12 emails a year. That's all I'm asking for you, right? That's it. But they could be on the email list. I have people on my email list for years before they become a client, and they're the slow cooker, they're the crock pots. And there are people who follow me 2 days ago and now they're signing up for a workshop. Those are the Instapots. See the analogy?
Okay.
Right? So the email is what a lot of times you'll have from your slow cookers. Or
I think just the challenge is getting a hold of those emails when the business is still in its infancy.
again, that's why the freebies are really good. The checklist, the ebook, a how-to. It could be a
What, so
video.
like just publish like a free book on like Amazon or something like that, any place that is likely to draw any sort of attention, and then collect the emails of any who download it.
Mike, you can your conversion content on LinkedIn could literally be having them send to it. If you're on LinkedIn and you haven't said it, say book a call, you could have sign up for get this. Again, it's part of, you can also do it as a feature, right? Anytime you're doing conversion content, you can literally just showcase whatever freebie you're doing once a week. If you have a freebie, talk about it once a week.
We do have a freebie, like a free audit.
So then just talk about it all the time. Once a week, talk about it. And then be very specific of what it is and why it's good for them.
And it doesn't come off as like repetitive or desperate, like if even at the beginning when you're still trying to get traction.
Okay, guys, I sell every day.
No, I meant from a perspective of me, where I'm still with very limited audience.
That's okay.
And still trying to grow that audience.
Doesn't matter. Once a week.
Okay.
Mike,
I'll
once a week I want you selling your product. Once a week I want you selling your freebie. Every single one of you.
Okay.
Once a week. On whatever platform or networking or whatever. Sell. Ironically, if you don't sell, someone can't buy from you. The irony is not lost on me at all. The same way if someone can't see you because you're nowhere to be seen, i.e. networking groups, social media, or etc., or email, then again, no one can buy from you. People buy from people they see. People buy when they're told to do something. Why do we talk about call to action so much? Your call to action, even at networking, my referral partners are, I'm looking to connect with. I'm very strong about that. So there are different places for different people. Okay. Are you a talker? So focus on partners, talk about referrals. Referrals, I talk a lot about people who are partners who you can connect with. Like, what are other industries that you can partner up with, that you can do collaborations with, right? Whether it's collaborations online or collaborations in person, right? Where you have this, like what I call shituf pula, this partnership that you're not trying to sell to each other, but maybe it's someone in the spheres of things. I think I talked about that in a minute. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. So I won't talk about that. So partners, referrals, live events, going to events. Are you a creator? So if you're a creator, then focus on newsletters, writing, and helpful freebies or tips, right? Are you a planner? Focus on Google search, good reviews, and case studies. Now, the best part is choose 2 to 3 that feel the most fun and easy. So basically pick 2 of them or pick all 3. I get to pick all 3 because that's just me. You don't have to do all 3. Okay? The best clients come from your friends. 70% warm clients close faster. Referral clients trust you more and buy quickly. 30% cold clients cost more. Chasing strangers requires time, energy, and effort. That's what I mean by when I talk about, and I'm going to go back to the pie, this is a lot, the inner circle and the warm zone are a lot bigger than you think. The inner circle tells the warm zone, and then the warm zone can actually take the cold zone, which brings them into the warm zone. Right? It's not as weird as we think it is. So that 70% could be the warm zone that's telling another person in the warm zone. But I will tell you, word of mouth only gets you so far. You still need to do all the other stuff to show that. Why do I say to people, anyone who's a photographer or florist or artist, show your stuff online, because that's your CV. The same if you're a copywriter, show the way you write, show the results. Okay, partner strategies. So this is where like connecting with people. And I get in the worksheet, you can go over the worksheet. We talk about the different types of partners that you can have. Is it physical shops if you're selling a product? Is it online shops like Mike with Amazon, right? Is it other people who sell things that are connected to you? So you want to find good partners who serve your clients before or after you do. So if you think of a funnel, right? So like Naomi, there are event planners who need cakes and biscuits and cookies, right? So you need to be connecting with those people. Right? And the yeshiva crowds, parents want to order cakes for their kids who are not, they're not home. Again, it's another, right? So it's finding out how to connect with those people. Networking and talking to people. Networking. You should be having one networking meeting a week, and you should be following up with those networking people every 6 months.
I went to networkings and it gave me nothing, and I helped everybody else, and I got, for a year I didn't do anything.
Right.
0 clients. That's why I don't go to networkings.
Well, Naomi, you're going to come on March 17th and we're going to figure this out for you. So don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. You don't have a choice. Every female here is going to be there. We had a lot of fun, right? Nadia, we did have a lot of fun. I don't do boring events. I just don't have to. Esther, you were there too. I don't do boring events.
It really was a great event. I actually learned a lot from it, and I'm not such a networking person. Like, I can vouch, it was actually like,
Right,
there's
but
something.
Naomi, it's being specific on the networking you go to, right? If you saw within the first 3 months, 6 months, you weren't getting referrals. Like I go to networking now, I go for companionship. I don't go for business because I haven't gotten business from them in a while. So I'll probably stay to the summer. But I got the first year of me being in the networking group, I did get a lot of business. So we want to be specific with our time. So maybe if that place wasn't the right networking, then switch to another place that was. Right? Because it could be that the people in the networking group weren't the right referral partners to you. Or we weren't specific with your 60 seconds, which is very important also.
No, I think it's more how to get, like, people who are in the event business, how to market myself to them, how to give them the right prices that they need and stuff like that. That I'm obviously not good, because I know so many event planners and I promote them. And sometimes they do also, they give me clients, but they don't, not through the events that they do.
So that's a whole other thing. We can talk about that. All right, the help way. How can you make your partners look good? Don't just ask for clients, right? The Mocha's coming for the meeting. Mocha, okay. Follow-up plan. Set up a quick call with your top 5 partners every 3 months. So there's networking and there's partners. I know you're like, who are those partners? We could talk about that. But just think about people who you can connect with who can be your partner. All right. Referrals. They don't have to be random. Make it a simple system. When client says, I love this, that is the perfect time to ask, who else do you know who needs this help? Right? Do you have any other friends getting married who would like this ketubah? Provide a clear way to thank referrers, right? Ask happy clients for friends' names right after they say they love your work. I know it's weird. It's weird, but we're never stopping to sell. Like, I know this sounds horrible and I hate this. None of us love selling. I can promise you, none of us love selling, but that's the reality is when we're entrepreneurs, you have to sell. Send quick hello emails to old clients every few months to stay top of mind. And then you want to create a structure of consistent referrals. So whatever you decided here, where's that going to get you your referrals? Is it going to events? Is it talking to past clients? What is it? How do you make this consistent? And then a 30-day plan. Okay, so guys, last month of December. I know, Hanukkah, who's buying in December? I promise you, people are buying in December. People buy in January. People buy all year round. All right, there's a reason why Black Friday and freaking Cyber Monday.
I'm sorry. Can you show previous slide
Sure.
briefly?
And Sergey, I'll put the slides up with when I send the recording. So you'll see.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. But it's you want to be consistent in whatever you're doing. So whether you're consistent online, whether you're consistent in networking, whether it's consistent with your partners, be consistent. So 30-day plan, right? And again, this is something you can do every 30 days. Create a simple freebie, send a friendly email to 3 partners, write a weekly tip for your audience, find someone who can make sure that you get this done. So whether it's an accountability partner, whether it's a coach, whatever it is, this is how you will grow. Thank you very much. Any questions before we things? I hope I'm hoping maybe you'll see me now, but probably not. So I wish I could put a funny picture, but I don't even.
The only question for the 30-minute session, we book it through the booking link you sent us, yes?
Yeah, the Tidycal link. Yeah, you book it through. Yeah, you have it. You have access to it for the next week. So hopefully you can find time. Come with specific.
Which mail or link it was?
Well, you'll get it. I'll send it out again. The Tidy. Did you see it in the chat here? I'll put it again. Hold on. I love that I'm literally none of you see me. This is the funniest. Where'd it go? Hold on 1 second. Mercury's in retrograde.
And while you're putting
I'll put the
the
link.
link out, what should we do with this document? Prepare for the next talk?
So
To fill in?
so I'm just gonna say for the people that are going to be doing the 90-day plan, some people booked that ticket, some people didn't. If you're sorry, the 2026 plan, I think the 2026 plan. If you booked for that, what I want you to do is look at your numbers for 2025. Look at what worked, if you sold a product, what was your highest base product, what you found the hardest to sell, what you found the easiest to sell. If you're a newer business, it might be a little different, but like, what do you like selling? Look at the numbers, look at your data.
And if we don't have that kind of data yet
That's okay.
available,
That's okay. Yeah. Well, I have a framework. It just sometimes we're gonna spend just a little bit of time looking at what worked in 2025. Mike, would be really interesting to ask your partner what worked for her, because it's a new partner.
no, I know, like, because I came into the business model, and now we're like splitting things up. But like up until now, it was a sharing workload thing, and like literally today, I acquired my very first independent client. So the numbers are not like mine; they're like ours.
Right. It's more to do with like what more like what worked, what didn't work.
Okay. All right. So
that's what we want to look at, like what worked and why didn't we work. This is an evaluation I ask, and Zamira has heard this evaluation more times than she wants to know about. It's what worked, what also worked, what didn't work. What didn't work, what else, what would I do differently? And it's how we look at 2025.
Okay.
right? And how we be able to move forward in 2026 when you're looking at the plan. You should have got, did you see, Esther, did you see the Google link? I didn't give you the Google link. I'll send it to you now. Here. It's a great worksheet and you want to fill it out. You can fill it out for your 30 minutes. Listen, this is what I say about your 30 minutes. The 30 minutes is really what you want to talk about. So if you want to talk about the marketing, we can talk about marketing. If there's other stuff going on in your business, we can talk about other stuff with you going in your business. So I leave the 30 minutes up to what you guys want. Okay?
And one more question. Those 30 minutes are one-to-one?
One-to-one.
Okay.
You get all of me for 30 minutes. If hopefully if you can see me, because right now I'm just the voice of God coming from this.
I can imagine. Don't worry.
Okay, so that's it. I hope this was helpful. I know it was a lot, but I hope it has your brain thinking.
Well, thank you for your time and your dedication. It's
My
very
pleasure.
appreciated.
I appreciate it. Bye, guys. Laila Tov. I have another
Thank
meeting.
you.
Aren't I so
Thank you.
excited?
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm learning about LinkedIn.